Hi, I'm Thom Van Boeckel, and I'm an assistant professor here at D-USYS. And I'm originally from Belgium. I grew up in Brussels, and this is also where I studied, originally bioengineering. And then I kind of drifted a little bit to biostatistics to do some mapping of disease using methods from spatial epidemiology. And after my PhD, I had the chance to do a postdoc in Princeton, where I was there for a few years. And then after that, I arrived at ETH about 3 years ago, and I was a postdoc in Sebastian Bonhoeffer's group. Yes, so my field of research is a little bit difficult to define because initially I studied environmental engineering, studying water system, doing some chemistry and some mathematics. And then I drifted to spatial epidemiology. So what I'm mostly interested in today is mapping disease, generally speaking. So I first did that with the case of bird flu in Thailand and in China during my PhD. We were mapping outbreaks and trying to correlate that to environmental conditions. And then I used a similar set of methods and tools to try to do that for antibiotic use and antibiotic resistance in the animals that we raise for food. Now, why do we do that? Is because something not many people know about is that most of the antibiotics that we use on this planet is not actually to treat infection in the clinic or you when you get sick, but it's for animals that we raise for food to help them grow faster and prevent infection on the farm. Now, one of the bad consequences of that, of course, is that it promotes antibiotic resistance, which can then be in the food or attack the farmers. And ultimately, we really need antibiotic to function well. Otherwise, we can't treat infections, and maybe we can't do certain types of surgeries as well. So it's a very important topic for public health. So what's my plan at ETH? So during my time here, I really try to make the best use of the resource from the Swiss National Science Foundation and also the Branco-Weiss Foundation that supports my work here to have kind of an ambitious research agenda on antibiotic resistance in animals to really try to address this issue. So concretely, how do we plan to do that? We try to focus on 3 points. The first one is to try to create an atlas of antibiotic resistance in animals, so big maps, so that we can give that to policymakers and tell them, listen, this is where the problem is, this is where we need the money to go, and this is where we need to keep scrutiny in the future to see if the situation is evolving well or not. The second part of the plan is to try to do models to look at the effect of different intervention to try to reduce the problem of resistance. This includes like stewardship, like reducing antimicrobial use, but also improving the hygiene on the farm and the biosafety on the farm. And then finally, the last aspect of the plan is to try to look at the economics of antibiotic use in animals and see if we could use different types of tax to try to reduce the use and incentivize farmers to use different means of production than relying on antimicrobial, which is not very good for public health and animal health in general as well. So obviously we need many different types of expertise, and this is why it makes sense to join a department like D-USYS, where we have economists, we have ecologists, we have agricultural scientists, and I'd like to build a multidisciplinary team like that in my small research group.